Well, hey there. This is Zeke. I'm out in my workshop. And I watched the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention. Much as I could anyway, because, well, I work and I have a life. And, well, I wanted to comment about the Democratic National Convention because, quite frankly, I found it to be pretty disgusting. I mean, both conventions, there were stretching of truths, but the Democrats out and out lied about a lot of stuff. And the thing that really bothered me about it more than anything else was that they made the centerpiece of their convention what they called women's health issues. Well, specifically, they made it about abortion and contraception. And more specifically, they made it about having taxpayers pay for people's abortions and contraception. Taxpayers being people like me. And the thing that really ticked me off is, well, our country is facing much bigger issues than that. And they refuse to talk about it, and I believe they refuse to talk about it because President Obama's record on the economy, well, frankly, it's a disaster. And a lot of people don't want to look at it, but if you go through history, America's been through much worse economic times and bounced back much quicker. And if you really look at the history of it, it's because of what the government didn't do more than what it did. But President Obama seems to think that the government is in charge, and they're not. Anyway, I wanted to comment about abortion because I saw a number of interviews of people at the Democratic National Convention, both politicians and just attendees and delegates, and they all kind of seem to have the same idea that anybody who opposes abortion is a person who rejects science and is a religious zealot. Well, I'd like to confront that idea because, well, I believe in science, and I haven't set foot in a church in probably 30 years, and I don't trust organized religion. I do trust a lot of people that are religious, but I do that on an individual basis when they prove to me they're trustworthy. But religious organizations are, well, in a lot of ways, like government. They're there to steer the masses in a certain direction. And they can steer the masses in a good direction, or, like our Muslim friends, in a very bad direction. But I wanted to talk about abortion based on why I oppose it, based on two things. Based on our founding documents and based on science and logic, if you really want to put it in there. But, well, I'll start with our founding documents. Our founding documents state very clearly that all men are created equal and that we all have certain unalienable rights, and that among those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, having said that, let me go on to the scientific view of why abortion is wrong, except in very extreme cases. If a male sperm penetrates an egg inside a healthy female within a very short period of time, that egg will embed itself in the uterus of the female and begin to grow. It even begins to grow before it embeds itself in the uterus. That is living tissue. Because if it were to somehow be removed from that female, it could not survive. So it's living tissue that is very dependent on the female. Well, within less than 2 months, that fertilized egg will turn itself into a fetus. It'll have eyes, the beginnings of ears, a nose, a mouth, arms, legs, fingers, toes, and a heartbeat. To me, that's a human life. It's no bigger than a bean, but it's a human life. And if the process is not interrupted by anything, and the female is healthy, 9 months after that egg is fertilized, it will come out of that female as a human baby. The most innocent and vulnerable of all human life that there is. And I believe that if anybody does anything to intentionally interrupt that process, they are ending that human life. Well, based on the founding documents, that human life has the right to life. And that's the big argument. See, our Democratic friends claim that they believe in science, but they claim that that human life is not a human life because it doesn't have hopes and dreams, doesn't know anything. Well, I disagree with that too. It knows to go and embed itself in the uterine wall of the female, and it knows to grow. So I view it as a human life. And anyway, if you go and intentionally disrupt that process, well, we got a few words that actually describe it better than the word abortion that we use right now. The strongest word would be murder. A little softer word would be homicide. You are killing that baby. That's what you're doing. And that's why it's distasteful to a lot of us. Now, the reason that I'm pissed off that the Democrats made that the center of their convention, their platform, is because, well, first of all, the country has far bigger problems than this. This could be debated on an intellectual level for decades and never really be solved. But in addition to that, they don't want to talk about what this president and what this Congress has done to get us in the situation that we're in. And furthermore, they're claiming that the Republicans are going to take away all the rights of all the women. And that's just a bunch of crap. As a matter of fact, if you watch the Republican convention, they talked about economic issues. And quite frankly, I was pretty impressed with a lot of what they had to say. I don't believe they're ready to go far enough to satisfy me, but at least they want to go in the right direction and get our federal government back under control. And one more thing about our founding documents. They clearly state that our rights come from nature and nature's God, not from government. They also state very clearly that the federal government of the United States of America was created to protect our rights, not grant them to us. Protect them. They're not doing that. Matter of fact, they're doing everything in their power to take them away from us. I'd like to get back to our founding documents. And, well, I guess that's all I have to say about it for now. I'd like you to think about what I had to say. You have a great day.